Hello and welcome to another episode of Café 21. I'm your host, Ross Crawford, and in the hot seat today we have another very special guest. Our guest today is a brilliant personality and someone our very own Steve Frew knows well. She's an excellent gymnastics coach who 40 years ago started a gymnastics club that welcomes any aspiring gymnast with open arms. And now she wants to make the street gym Steve and STGC recently helped open near Edinburgh a success. Welcome to the hot seat, Vivien Gourlay. How are you, Vivien? You well?
Yes, I'm fine.
Perfect. So you know the drill now. It's 3 questions and 3 answers. Are you ready?
Yes.
Smashing. So first of all, Vivien, I really want to know all about your gymnastics career, both as a participant and then your many years as a coach. So do you want to just tell us your story?
Not much as a participant. I learned more when I was teaching the children. But it started because I had 2 sons and I worked in the sports centre at the university. And the assistant manager that I dealt with, he wanted to do something for children with the students and the employees. And it became so popular, and my 2 sons were going there in the afternoon, that I decided that, I could go down and give them a hand. And lo and behold, that started it all. I just liked doing what I was doing. I liked what they were doing. There was all different sports, but the one that everybody queued up to get to was gymnastics. So it started from there, and a new chappie had come to Edinburgh, national coach, and he was running a course in another centre that had recently opened in Edinburgh. And the boss had said, would I like to go there? So I thought, yeah, that would be excellent. So me and my older son went down, and it all started with Gordon Forster in 1974. And I just grew on from there and there. I got more and more hooked and passionate about gymnastics, and the sport itself is so wonderful to watch, and you can appreciate what the gymnasts are having to do. But I think the thing I get the most from it is watching somebody learn the simplest of things and with a smile on their face because they've accomplished it. And from the preschool section all the way up, it still gives me a thrill to see somebody who's been working hard, and especially someone who people think, they're not going to do anything, they're never going to go anywhere. And you've managed to teach them how to do a forward roll, and they're swimming from ear to ear, and it's something they've accomplished. And that goes all the way through, right to the big ones as well. So that's what started me off.
Sounds fantastic. It sounds like you get a lot from just watching the kids grow and get better and improve. Was gymnastics, was it always your passion? Did you always know you wanted to coach for as long as you have been coaching?
No, I never thought I wanted to coach. I was always a bit of a leader in school, and I went to school. We had a lot of PE in school. At that time, we had a PE teacher in our primary school every day, so we had run around and be a tree when the music stops. But when we went to secondary school, it was tennis I was really in love with, and swimming and running. We had all of these things because we used to compete in our houses for them all. So I was never short of having to do some kind of sport or other. And it ended up that when I came to work in the sports centre, when I had 2 boys and I was older, I was introduced to squash because I worked right next door to the squash courts. And I thought, what's this? Because I do like racket sports. So I ended up being very much a squash player in my 30s and 40s. And just keeping up the gymnastics as well. So it's something that's a passion.
Lovely to hear you've got kind of an array of interests, I think. And gymnastics is probably rooted at the heart of it in terms of your coaching, for sure thing. As you mentioned, or as I mentioned, you coached our very own Commonwealth Games gold medalist Steve Frew when he was just a wee lad, way before he got up on the rings in Manchester, and he won the gold medal, our first gold for Scotland in the Commonwealth Games in gymnastics, I believe. What did it feel like, firstly watching Steve get up there and doing that, what he did in Manchester, knowing that you coached him as a kid? But then secondly, how much pride do you take in seeing your students improve every time you coach them?
Yeah, well, for as far as Steve's concerned, it felt like you'd known him all his life, really. He's just a little lad, and there's quite a few of them the same. And to see how they've all progressed forward in the gymnastics world, really. Steve was a charming little boy to coach, and he never complained, and he'd try again, and he had such a passion for the sport. And I think, as I said, that the passion I had to see somebody progress and enjoy it, that was what we both sort of came together on with some of the other sport coaches at the time. And he was just one of those children. You could say one thing to him and he would pick it up and do it straight away. And then to find out, that he was up there and he won a gold medal on the rings, then it's like one of your own sons, really. And you just feel so proud that, that's a Scottish lad who has come, from a family of sisters and brothers and everything. His mum and dad who were so kind, so excellent. And I feel so proud for them all, really, that's what he did. I don't think he's ever had the recognition for what he did in Scotland, certainly. And I think this is what we're trying to do. When he spoke to me a couple of years back when I was looking for a place to make a gym, because we've lived out of schools and sports centres, and he came there, he actually mentioned this, and I held it. And then, of course, we couldn't find anywhere that would accept us. And when the pandemic came in and the lockdowns all came in, I spoke with a friend of mine who runs a gym, and he had said, they had a piece of ground out the back, which would have been ideal, which was kind of used by some of the muscly men, but not the other people. And we decided that we'd apply, and we managed to get funding for it, and it all started from there. And I think it's really, really good. It's not in the most fabulous of places for people to see, but it's right on the tram line, so people can see it's there. We had to jump through a lot of hoops to have it, because it wasn't accepted by many of the people that we needed to get permissions from. But we fought our case and we got there. And other people seeing it now from other places are actually a bit jealous and think, wow, look what you've got. So we want to come and use it. But we're trying to get the general community to understand that it's there for them. It's free. They can come along and they can practice. They can try it out. And if they want help, we'll give them help from the sports centre people. And there's no charge whatsoever. It was something we thought that might just be the very best thing from the pandemic to get people back into feeling fitter and feeling better mentally and being able to socialise. Because if they're all working in that gym at the same time on various bits and help each other, talk to each other, it would get everybody back to a bit of normality. And that's really the main thing we have it for.
What do you hope? Do you think more gyms like this could become popular in Scotland? And what do you hope that this kind of gym could bring to that community? But also, if it were to expand outside of just that one gym, potentially get some more up in other communities around Scotland?
Yes, that's what we call this as a prototype. And they can take parts of that gym. We know that it's not everywhere would be able to have that same type of gym, but they can take parts of it and put it up in parks and open spaces. And they wouldn't need to worry, because it would be on the grass in a nice open space. The council here, the landscape manager, he was very interested in having it in most of their parks and things, but whether that happens or not remains to be seen. But we certainly will be pushing that. Glasgow, Dunfermline, and some of the other places have said, what a good idea. But the main thing is that in other countries, you see that there's couple of bars set up, and one of the videos shows I get a walking to work with her backpack on, and then she sees the bar, stops, takes her backpack off, gets up, does some chin-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, backpack on, and trots off to work again. And it's that kind of attitude that we don't have in Britain, that, the sport is there. We have had trim tracks, and some people do use them, but I think they don't understand that just a little bit of something each day would be so much better for them, especially being outside. Even if it's snowing, we'll still be able to do something.
Oh, I don't know, Vivien. I like my cup of tea in the winter. I like my warm fire and my blankets.
Oh, and you can have your hip flask with you and do your pull-ups.
That's a good mindset. It's not a bad attitude. I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'll have to take up your advice in the future. Well, Vivien, that's all we have time for today, but it's been a pleasure chatting to you. So thank you very much. No, of course. So thank you very much for sitting in the hot seat today. We wish you well for the future here at STGC.
Thank you very much.